Holocaust, The System of the Camps. Made by Cassandra Angeles,
Ileana Gutierrez, and Brianna Moda.
Discrimination and murder was what Nazis did to innocent Jews. Concentration camps were cruel and brutal punishment to Jewish people. This became known as the Holocaust. This started January 30th, 1933, ending May 8th, 1945, spreading rapidly and starting in Germany. Why did the Germans do this?
When Germany lost World War I, they were frightened and humiliated. A lot of their territory was very destroyed. With the German Empire destroyed, they formed in a new government. Germany suffered with many issues and financials. The Germans declared war. This became World War II. When they surrendered, they lost a lot of money, valuable items, etc.
Hitler told the Jews that he would help them with getting jobs, their financial issues, etc. What they were actually doing was sending them to concentration camps.
We got down from the cattle car. People were selected to live or to die. People crying, pushing, shoving, dogs barking, trying to make some sense of that place. And I actually turned around in trying to figure out what is that place. Never seen a place like that before. And as I turned around, I realized that my father and my two older sisters were gone. Never saw them again. We were holding on to mother for dear life. A Nazi was running in the middle of that selection platform, yelling in German, "Twins, twins." He noticed us and demanded to know if we were twins. And my mother asked, "Is that good?" And the Nazi said yes. My mother said yes. At that moment, another Nazi came, pulled my mother to the right, we were pulled to the left, we were crying, she was crying. And all I ever remember is seeing my mother's arms stretched out in despair as she was pulled away. I never even said goodbye to her, but I did.
Things were done unfairly and poorly to the Jews. The soldiers sabotaged the Jews in countless ways.
They had many ways to kill Jews. If I were a Jew and picked up a rotten apple, I would get punished, such as being starved. They also burnt many living people in a human-sized oven. They dehumanized Jews.
During the dehumanization, many Jews and some Germans made groups to destroy German properties or destruct other items, people, etc. The people in these groups were partisans. Jews only let certain Germans and even little Jews were able to get in. You had to know how to use a weapon, be able to defend yourself, cure and or help the hurt, know many things about the Germans, and know how to get into the spots. These people are usually Germans who thought things weren't right or wanted to get back at something unfair. The people in these groups sacrificed their lives and was the beginning of a compromise, yet leading into more conflict because Hitler didn't like what was happening. Many of the Nazis got upset and camps got stricter, but they still got their ways to escape.
In the middle of the night, they kicked down the door. They were yelling and screaming. My mom and dad were at a loss. They grabbed me to protect me, especially from the German shepherds who were pretty much at my level. They took us out on the truck. I, of course, was scared. I was confused. I had no way of doing anything to escape. We were taken off and we were greeted by people who had an emaciated, hollow look. They really moved like zombies. My father was forced to work repairing the electrified fences. My mother made iron plates that went under the military boots. I, miraculously, was given the chance to work in the agriculture department. The food ration that you received was a single loaf of bread, a watery cabbage soup, intentionally non-nutritional. That was your total food for the week. As far as I was concerned, I had an escape mechanism from that level of starvation by stealing food as much as I could. The way I stole it was by putting holes in my pocket, let the seats fall down to my ankles where the pant leg had been tightened up. I was able to pass inspection by being patted down. Had I been detected, I would have become what the Germans called Sunday's entertainment, the execution by hanging.
Many of the Nazis got upset and the camps got stricter, but they still got their ways to escape and help. But since the camps and soldiers got stricter, a lot of Germans did a lot of the planning and did other things that needed to be done or fixed. In the end of this time, Jews were only let out because Germany was invaded. Therefore, there is really never a compromise. This was the final stage of World War II. The Germans needed more soldiers, so they took them from the concentration camps until there were not enough in the camps.
I had nightmares, of course, for I would say for a couple of months. You know, waking up thinking that I'm still in the camps, and I was so happy that I was in a real bed. In order to have a little bit of pleasure, let's say, there's not too much of it in the camps, I made friends with two Polish kids. We didn't get too much sleep, and we used to just get out real early in the morning, because in the barracks it was just crying and screaming and praying, and it wasn't unusual that a prisoner who was laying next to you to go to sleep, when you woke up they were dead. In any of these camps, everything is so the same day in and day out, that when anything unique happens that is not on the schedule, you always immediately try to talk about it. Is this good news or bad news? One morning we came out, and the first thing we saw was that there are no guards in the guard towers. So we are sneaking between the barracks towards the gate, and lo and behold, nobody's there. So we get enough courage to go to the gate, and we notice there's a heavy chain with a padlock on it, and it's a very, very foggy morning, and we are just dumbfounded. All of a sudden there's a break in the fog, like a mirage, and all you see is two horses with a horseman. As he's coming closer, one of the Polish kids says to me, "Look at his hat," and it was a red star, a Russian soldier. He comes to the gate, and he says, "I'm advance guard, nobody can leave the camp, because there are all sorts of diseases, you're full of lice, and you haven't been washing for months." But he says, as he takes out his gun, shoots off the padlock, doctors will be coming, medication will be coming, food will be coming very shortly. So the three of us, as fast as our skinny legs can carry us, we go to every barrack in the vicinity, open up the door in every language that we know, just yell in, "We are free, we are free." And you'll never forget that moment, the sounds from the barracks. Those who are able to walk out to the sunlight, walk out. Those who can't walk are crawling out. I have to pass through a little area where there are little bungalows. And this is where the SS families were staying. And they must have left in a big hurry, because I go into one of the bungalows and I open up the closet, the clothing in there. Open up the pantry, food. And then I go into the bathroom and I turn on the water, hot water, fluffy towels, shampoo, soap I haven't seen for a year. I make a little victory dance on my prison uniform, get in there and take my first hot shower in a year. It's wonderful.
When the Holocaust started seeping out to the world, many people were shocked and terror. After the Holocaust ended, many people wanted to make things right and not thinking it was impossible to do. They also wanted everything back to the way it was before. Many people believe that this was simply a bad behavior. Many also disagree.